Hello everyone, welcome back. Today, I'll be doing another book haul. I got a couple books since I did my last book haul a month or two ago. The first of which is The Adventures of Tom Bombadil by J.R.R. Tolkien, and as you can see, my bookmark is sticking out. I've only read the introduction so far. So far, it's a really great book. If you're unfamiliar, The Adventures of Tom Bombadil is a collection of poems that Tolkien wrote about Tom Bombadil and about not just Tom Bombadil, but trolls. You know, it has Sam's troll song, The Man in the Moon Came Down Too Soon, The Man in the Moon Stayed Up Too Late, and some of those other ones. Very whimsical and delightful poems, which I really enjoy reading. But this book does not just have all the poems. It also has some extensive commentary on the poems and explains how Tolkien wrote these poems, and also has some fragments. It also has some poems that were going to be included in the book, but that Tolkien ended up not putting in the book. So this is a new and revised version of an original one that was published back when Tolkien was still alive. So far, I'm really enjoying it. The introduction was great. I've already read all these poems, but I haven't read the commentary and the earlier versions of it, so I'm really excited to get into them, and of course to reread these poems. And then I got a book series that I've been meaning to read for a very long time, and that has since become one of the top 5 favorite book series of mine. My top 5 being The Lord of the Rings, The Green Ember, Harry Potter, what was the other one? The Wingfeather Saga, and these books. The Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis. This is a box set that includes all the books in the Space Trilogy. There's 3 of them. You can see right there. There is... Get the box off there. There is Out of the Silent Planet, Paralandra, and That Hideous Strength. So far, I've only read the first 2 books in the series, Out of the Silent Planet and Paralandra. I just finished Paralandra a couple of days ago, and it was just as good as the first book, you guys. It was fantastic. These books are basically about a man called Elwyn Ransom, who ends up getting abducted and taken to the planet Mars, and meets alien species there and learns their language. Then Paralandra continues that when he goes to Venus, this time of his own choosing. So he goes to the planet Venus and interacts with some of the creatures there. This is such a great book. It had a lot more theology than the first book, and just some really, really fascinating stuff. I did also do a book review of Out of the Silent Planet on my channel a couple weeks ago, so I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in hearing my full thoughts on this book. But in short, these first 2 books were fantastic books, and I'm really looking forward to diving into the final book in the series, That Hideous Strength, which is by far much thicker than the first 2 books, as you can see. The next book that I got is this, Beowulf. This is translated by John McNamara. So I already own Tolkien's translation of Beowulf, and that book was really fascinating. And so I decided once I read that I would want to read some more ancient poems like the Iliad and the Odyssey. I did start the Iliad. I didn't finish it yet. I had a lot of people say in the comments that I should read the Odyssey before reading the Iliad. So my new plan is to read the Odyssey, then read the Song of Achilles, and then finish up with the Iliad. But that's a tangent. So I decided to get another translation of Beowulf. This translation actually mentions J.R.R. Tolkien on the back. And I just want to read this soon and enjoy it, and maybe compare it to Tolkien's translation of Beowulf, see how it differs. And I really love Beowulf. I really enjoyed reading that original translation that J.R.R. Tolkien did. J.R.R. Tolkien is my favorite author, of course, so that's how I ended up reading it in the first place. And Beowulf was what inspired Tolkien. It was like one of Tolkien's most favorite books of all time. This one also has, what does it have? It has introduction, let's see, it has a timeline, and it also has some family trees in it, as well as in the back it has some information on all the other people that have translated Beowulf in the past, so like Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, J.R. Tolkien, of course, and a whole bunch of others, but I love Beowulf, and I'm really looking forward to reading this translation. And then, I got 2 books by J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, first being Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I did already read this book, and I really enjoyed it. This is information on all the magical beasts that we find in the world of Harry Potter, and really a great book. The next one, I did read this book once, but I'm going to reread it out of this copy. It is Quidditch Through the Ages. Basically, this is like, I think, a history. This explains to you how the magical game of Quidditch works in Harry Potter, the history of Quidditch, all the different positions in Quidditch, and stuff. These are pretty short books, too, and I'm really looking forward to reading this book. They smell so nice and fresh. It's unfortunate that these 2 books do not match up with the Tales of Beetle the Bard, unfortunately. I might get a copy of the Tales of Beetle the Bard that matches these 2, or I might just keep this one because I really do like this edition of the Tales of Beetle the Bard. And I believe all these 3 copies are included a lot of times in a box set in a trilogy called the Hogwarts Library Collection. So I might get another copy of the Tales of Beetle the Bard that matches up with these ones, but I'll probably end up keeping this one too, so I'll either have 2 copies or just keep one of them. I usually have 2 copies of the same book, especially when it's a book that I really like, because every edition is beautiful. And what if, the reason I do that is because I'm always thinking, what if that other copy gets destroyed or something on a trip, then I have this other copy. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I have this weird habit of collecting several copies of the same book, especially in the case of J.R. Tolkien. So, those were the 7 books that I got in the past 2 months since my last book haul. Really looking forward to reading some of these. I've already started The Adventures of Tom Bombadil, of course. Really looking forward to finishing up the last book in the Space Trilogy, reading Quidditch Through the Ages, and Beowulf. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've read any of the books in this list, let me know in the comments what you thought of them. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I do book reviews, book hauls, book rankings, and basically anything else related to books. And please hit the like button if you did enjoy watching this video. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon again. And for now, farewell.